Hey everybody, welcome back. As I said in the last video, let's let this saw sit, the 026 that we've been messing with. Let's let it sit for a day or two. Good thing I'm not on hourly shop, friends, because I'd be losing a fortune on this saw. But just some guy puttering, and sometimes it's nice to get a little extra puttering in a project. Sometimes it's not, but I'm actually enjoying this one. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to see, will this saw start? I did restart the saw 4 times. After the last video that night, it started beautifully. Okay? The problem I've been having is the saw doesn't restart after you let it sit. Once you get it going, now it seems to run pretty good. We've checked all the things we can check. So the one last thing I'm going to do before I vac and pressure test this saw, maybe I should have done that first. A lot of people are always like, you're crazy. I vac and pressure test every saw. I don't, friends. It's very rare I have a saw that I've built with an air leak. In fact, I don't think I've ever had one, friends. One time. Now, the saw ran for a year probably before I had an issue, and it was a base gasket failure. But anyhow, let's see if this thing starts, and we'll go from there. Remember, I had it running in the last video. It started, it was tuning good, and it idled perfectly, and it had good throttle response. I have not touched the settings. It is approximately the same temperature today. It's probably a little cooler, which may make the saw a little bit leaner, but again, you can't control weather and environmental factors on your saw builds. Tuning will change every day, depending on the weather. So anyhow, again, we're gonna run and gun. I have one more idea, but we'll see if this thing starts. I'm just gonna lift this up here. If this thing starts, then we'll probably get it ready to go in the wood. Okay, full choke. Ready? Take it off choke just because. What's going on with this saw, friends? Just give me a second, I'm going to pause you. Okay, well, just like before, we know we have spark. We've had spark every time we've checked it. Are we getting fuel? It is a beautiful summer day. Weird. Well, this is the first time I've had fuel on the spark plug. First time, period. Should we throw a coil at this thing just because? I don't know what to say. Pull this thing over. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see the spark here. I'll zoom you right in. Notice the spark is blue. Okay, blue is what you want. Orange, not so much, but blue's a good place to be on your spark. Okay, I'm just thinking out loud here. So the weird thing is about this saw this time is it seems to be getting fuel, but it hasn't popped off yet. I don't hear it fire. Let's try it one more time. Let's try it with throttle, okay? It's like this thing's flooding. It's funny, Buck had commented on the last video, that's his move. Give it some throttle. So it's not acting like it's flooded. Here, let's put the choke back on. And it fired. Interesting. Okay. Friends, what I'm going to do, let's do something. Let's break some of the rules. I'm going to take the carburetor off. Let's change. Here's another weird thing about this saw. Look, It's wet. I don't know if you guys can see that. So, I don't know. Let's hoping to find a dry plug again, friends. This here's a wet plug. Won't fire. Let's throw another coil at this thing. Now, the question is, do I have a coil like this? I guess we'll find out. Well, I found this. Appears to be a steel coil. I tend to have a lot of coil issues on steels. I actually do, now that I think about it. Hey, friends. Friends, look. You notice that? Why didn't I hook up the green wire to the coil? Oh. Houston, I think I found the problem. Wow. Oh my. If this fixes it, I'm gonna like really laugh. My gosh. Oh, friends, I didn't hook up a wire. That's 100% why this thing's not running properly. I'm thinking... Let's find out. I hope that's what it is. That's not even coil. Oh. I'm sure the Tin Man cheering section is going to be up all over this one. See? That Tin Man doesn't even know how to build a saw. They might be right, friends. Oh. Okay. Let's just laugh with me. Let's try this again. Okay. Embarrassed Tin Man. Okay, what should we do here? Let's put it on choke. Ready? Okay, so this thing's going to be flooded now, so let's do this. Okay, let's do this. Oh, she's flooded. What do you guys think? Where do we got these jets at again? I don't know where these jets out, friends. Let's put her at 1 on the low, just because. I didn't hook a wire up. Now, that's not the ground wire, so that's actually the wire. That's the wire that should be hooked up. Oh, that's so funny. Again, friends, if you're going to film yourself on YouTube, you better be honest. A lot of people aren't. This thing's super flooded now. Here, I'll show you guys. Okay, ready? Do this. Pull spark plug wire off. Okay, pull spark plug out. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's really flooded now, friends. There you go. Have a look there. Pull spark plug out right here. Flooded. There, look. Okay. See how shiny that is? It's wet. Okay, we don't want that. Grab a rag sitting there by my sitting chair. Next thing I'm going to do, turn the jets off. Okay. Remember, when you're seating a jet, gentle. Okay. Don't be afraid to turn these things. Okay, now I'm going to pull the trigger, let a lot of air in there. Turn it over a few times. Now I got this dry plug. Okay, put the plug back in. It should fire off now. That'll blow. That'll burn any gas out of the cylinder. Okay. This is perfect. I'm draining our pool, or my daughter's pool right now, so got a little bit of time here. Okay, spark plug. Fast idle. Put on choke just because. Okay, this thing is not going to start. Okay, now let's give it some choke, or some low jet, half, 1. Okay, we'll go 1 1/8. High jet, half, 1 1/8. Choke. Actually, we'll just put on fast idle, see what it does. It's not going to fire now, is it? Well, friends, maybe that wasn't the... I don't know if that was the problem. I don't know why this thing's not starting. Makes no sense to me, actually. Let's see if we can get it going. I think it's royally flooded. It's spitting fuel out of the carb, or out of the muffler. I'm going to throw a different coil on it just to see. I'm still not sure. And then we'll have to vacuum pressure test this thing. So I pulled the old Sparkum plug out, and the tip's dry. So once again, it appears we are not getting fuel. So I'm going to revert back to my original plan. I'm going to move the metering lever up like just a little bit. I suspect it's not opening and closing. Now, I don't think any of you needs to see me take this carburetor off again. That'll be the, I don't even know how many times. But you see, I'm doing it, okay? I'm going to pull the carb off. I'll jump back in when we're touching the metering lever, when we're moving it up and down. Okay, carburetor. Just so there's no questions. I think it's funny when you're on the YouTubes. People go, why didn't you show such and such? And it's like, well, I don't want to make a video 4 hours long. You guys that hang out here understand. I do edit some things out, but it's usually just things that are not, you know, like me rummaging looking for a part or a tool. I gotta clean this bench, friends. It's out of hand. Okay. Now, here's the funny thing. There is fuel in this carb this time. So now I'm like really confused as to what we're doing here. Or what this saw's doing. Again, let's take our handy dandy tool. Again, it says WT. This is WT carb. Okay. It is just touching. We are going to bend it up just a hair. Okay, I just hold down with my finger and I'll just bend it up here just a little bit. Okay, that's way too much. I did that on purpose. I want to show you guys. Okay, now usually what I do, I'll hold it down and I'll go like this. Somebody said my metering lever's upside down. I hope you're kidding. I thought about it for a second. I don't see any way to put that the other way. If you put that the other way, this thing will be open all the time. Okay, look friends, this would be too high of a metering lever. See how I'm pushing it way down? See that? Oh, this camera's good on this new phone. Okay, just gonna bend it down a little bit more. Don't push too hard. Okay, where are we at? This thing should be too high now. Okay, let's try that. It's literally that simple. You don't need, that's a metering lever adjustment, okay? Let's put our gaskets back on. Let's put this unit back on. Okay. Oh, I might have to pause you guys here. I hear my baby girl calling my name, and I think they're going to the splash pad. I got some yard work to do. I got to haul water and a few other odds and ends. And so unfortunately, I'm probably going to sit out the splash pad today. Which sucks, but it's the plight. It's the plight of the dad, right? You got work to do. At least I do. We went to the zoo yesterday, friends. Hadn't been to the zoo in, I don't know. I found pictures. I found pictures on an old laptop of mine of me and my wife, or my wife and I. Sorry, friends. I had to pause it there. Just heard my wife telling my daughter not to do something. I just wanted to make sure we didn't have a situation. My daughter is the body of a 3-year-old or 4-year-old, the mind of a 4-year-old, but the body of a 2-year-old. She's very ahead of the curves, but unfortunately, she doesn't quite understand. No, she's not quite there yet, but she gets herself into trouble because she's moving so fast all the time. So, okay, we have a higher metering lever, and the idea behind that is it should pump fuel, because what I'm missing out here, friends, and I know there's no obstruction in this carb because we've blown it out. I've looked through the main jet. Should we even look at that again? It's just like this thing's not getting fuel. Let's put it back on. Sometimes all it takes is a metering height adjustment. Now the problem is, friends, is usually it's too high. It's very rare I have a saw that's too low that's given me a ton of trouble. Usually a saw that's too low will run out of fuel on top. And by on top, I mean in the high jet. It's just not letting enough fuel in. Usually a saw that has too low won't give me these kinds of trouble starting. But, again, I got to hook up that Jimmy rigged line. I was reading the comments the other day, and someone said, "Oh, you ripped the fuel line, broke when you took it out." So it's probably the problem. No, I actually ripped it in half to get it out, because honestly, I didn't want to take the saw apart at that point to replace the line. So cutting a few corners there just to save some time. Okay, let's take this, put the fuel line back on. This thing. Again, if it doesn't start, I don't know, friends, maybe ultrasonic this carb, but we're getting to the point where it's like, I don't know. If this thing passes a pressure and vac test, then I need a carb. I'll have to find one somewhere on the interwebs, or because I do not have one. I do have a carb that's similar, and I may try that, but I don't have a 260 or an 026 carb that I can see. I don't know where the carb went that 260 carcass I have. I don't know where it went, but again, I know where I got that carcass, and I got it from a buddy, and he may have actually took the carb off that. Because, well, he's a saw guy, at least was. I think he's retired from sawing now. Not from sawing, but fixing stuff. He gave and sold me a lot of his projects back in the day. That's kind of what started my YouTube channel. I was getting some nice stuff, and it was all stuff that he'd collected, and he's like, "Hey, I'm retiring. I'm not doing this anymore." So, okay. Let's put this all fun stuff. I'm going to pause it, friends, put this all back together, and we'll try it one more time. Let's make sure my jets are on. Half, one. Okay. 1, half, so that's 1 and an 1/8, and my high jet's on. Okay, so this carburetor with the metering lever higher should physically be able to pump more fuel. Now this thing's stone cold. I got a fresh plug in there. By fresh, I mean it's clean. I've been rotating 2 plugs between this thing. Full choke, because this thing should need choke to start. Okay, it should, and remember, the system's now dry. The carburetor's empty and the fuel line. Ready? I don't know, friends. Same thing as last time. Full choke, and I have to give it trigger. Interesting. We did something that runs totally different now. It sounds lean. I don't know what's going on here. Let's try that again. Okay, friends, I can't keep this thing running now. I'm just going to make sure you guys are still rolling here. The light's on. I'll turn that off. I can't keep this thing running now. But it started. You see that? Once I gave it some trigger, it started. I can't keep this thing running now. So which means I've made drastic changes. I'm going to turn the idle up just to see if I can keep it going. I will put the low jet at about 1 1/4 turns. Because it feels lean to me. So, it definitely tunes better, friends, but here's the one issue with raising a metering lever is it tends to do that. It gets too rich on the bottom. As far as this thing back up, I keep saying this, friends, but it feels better now. Let's just see if I can get it. The cylinder's nice and hot now. Let's see if I can get the tuning where I need it. Okay, just give me a second here, friends. Sauce too rich right now, friends. So, friends, what you're seeing here is a carb that is a wandering tune. Even with wire detached, etc., etc., this carb, and look, friends, how much fuel's spitting out of there. Like, yeah, this carb definitely has something going on. I'm 99.9% sure that this carb has something going on with it because it wanders. It's good. You guys see that when I held it to the pickle, it wouldn't come down off idle. Now, I did adjust the idle to get this thing started again, but what I'm noticing with this carburetor, friends, is one moment it's too rich and one moment it's too lean. I noticed something. The impulse line that I built for this thing, I could slide it on and off really easily at the motor. So I used a piece of Tygon, not my favorite thing to use for an impulse line. Put the saw back together and I put the choke on. I pulled it over twice and it popped. I put the fast idle on. I pulled it over once and it fired. Now, I'm not saying this thing's fixed, friends. Here, okay? Fast idle, ready? Okay? Made the kill switch work now too. Again, friends, no fast idle. Okay. Once again, we're gonna leave it at that, friends. Let's put you guys down. So you can see sometimes I feel like when I get a saw that won't run good, it's just everything won't run good. This is the problem. This is the problem with buying used saws at auction, friends. Do not overpay. I have 100 hours in this saw. If I was doing this for a profit, I would have lost money about 6 videos ago. So, again, friends, do not overpay for saws at auction. If you do, I'm just looking at the kill switch here. If you do, you're probably going to lose money, okay? Do not overpay for used saws at an auction or used saws in general. Just don't do it. Anyhow, I'm going to leave this thing on the bench again because, like I said, I don't know if it's going to be fixed until tomorrow. It's one of those weird saws. Even in an hour or two, I'll probably try it and then I'll know. It tunes completely different again. Here's the thing, friends. Every time I've done something, something's changed. That's kind of how you know you're working on the right end of the saw. Every time I've done an adjustment to the carburetor, something's changed in the saw. I've gone anywhere from 3/4 of a turn full lean to full rich to 1.5. Now, the last time I ran the saw, and this will show you, I don't think the saw had an impulse line on it. It didn't seem like it was attached. So, again, we'll try it one more time like this, and we'll leave it at that. But I think she's going to be fixed now. Anyhow, friends, put all your wires on your coils. Don't be like the Tin Man. Only you can stop coil wires from not being installed. And just keep puttering. This thing's been fun. It feels really snappy right now. There's no hesitation, and it's holding a tune. So this thing has like 2 full tanks of troubleshooting time on it now. So it's definitely ready for the wood if it runs okay. Tonight even, friends, if I pull this thing over and it runs, we'll bar it up. We'll put some oil in it to find out the oiler doesn't work, maybe. We'll bar this thing up and see what it does in the wood. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Take her easy. I'm kind of happy. I think this thing's better now. I shouldn't have said that. I'm jinxing myself. Later.